Hello everyone, Alien Volt here, and I'm going to briefly talk about the new World of Warcraft Feral Druid talents at level 100. They've made a few changes to each class. They've gotten rid of some spells, tried to free up some availability on the bars, which they will probably end up giving you back as you level to 100. They didn't really free up that much space. I expected a much cleaner looking attack bar. That's not exactly what I got. What we basically ended up getting was a freed up attack bar basically for your alternate forms, like bear form, or if you're guardian, your feral form. And what I mean by that is that before you had your basic bear abilities, you could pretty much do most of your tanking abilities, only your form was pretty limited. Just like if you were guardian and you jumped into cat form, you could still do some damage, you could still put on some bleeds. You just didn't have the bonus damage that you would have if you were spec'd into feral. They've pretty much taken that away. Now if you're guardian, you jump into cat, you've got very limited attack damage dealing abilities. And the same thing with feral. If you're a DPS cat spec, you're not going to hop into guardian and expect to be a decent off tank. Your abilities are very limited, so your ability to hold aggro is even more limited. The only thing it basically gives you is still the survivability of bear form if you begin to take too much damage. And that in itself is limited spec feral. Alright, let's take a look at the actual talents. So what we have here, the first one is Lunar Inspiration, and basically allows you to cast Moonfire while in cat form, which basically gives you a ranged ability, which is actually pretty nice, and it's going to be based off of your attack power versus your intellect, which is a plus. Next is Blood Talons, which will probably be the strongest DPS ability that you can spec into. It gives you an increase of 30% on your next 2 attacks after casting Healing Touch. And I'll demonstrate why this ability is so powerful here in a few minutes. Okay, and the one I actually wanted to make the video for is Claws of Shirvallah. Now what this actually ends up doing, it gives us the ability to develop a shapeshift form that is half man and half cat, is how they describe it. And here's what it looks like. Pretty cool. An alternate cat form that allows the use of all non-damaging druid spells while shapeshift and increases versatility by 5%. Now, versatility, let's find a stat here. As you can see, it's not all that great. Basically gives you, 1.5% defensive abilities and 3% damage abilities while at level 90. At level 100, during the beta, I saw people get up to like 5% damage increase, which still overall damage for everything at 5%, plus the ability to actually shapeshift and heal while you're in that form is pretty nice. But is it enough to justify only a 5% increase in damage? We'll have to test it out and find out. In PvP, it could be a very good ability. That might be the form to take. In a raid, I doubt it. Playing the support role, I don't think is really needed as much as that 30% buff damage. And as you can see right here, you've actually got a nice increase in damage for 2 attacks after you use the Healing Touch. And you'll notice it only takes 3 attacks for me normally to hit my 5 combo points to actually use the Healing Touch. So you're looking at 2 of your 3 attacks to get the Healing Touch spell after your finishing move will be buffed 30%. So you're going to be using that quite often in a rotation, which is going to become very valuable. So which end talent tree do I think is best? Well, my money's probably going to be on the 30% buff of Blood Talons. But I really like the idea of the Claws of Shirvallah, or Shirvallah. I mean, I'm going to probably end up speccing into that just to try it out, but I doubt I'll actually maintain and use it. Anyways, that's going to end this video. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and leave a thumbs up if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you next time.